people running this Biden thing. The difference is I fire people. I fired Comey. I got rid of him.
You didn't fire Christopher Wray.
Well, you know what? At the time, I don't know. Let's see what the final judgment is. But I didn't fire Christopher Wray. I didn't fire people I would have, but I fired a lot of people. You know, I had turnover. They have no turnover right now.
He did fire a lot of people. It's sort of his thing, but that's a feisty Maria Bartiromo. She said, but your critics, that's what you say to someone who you have very little respect for when you kind of, stupid points you're making. And she pointed out Christopher Wray. She pointed out a lot of good examples. That was like more follow-ups than you get across multiple Trump interviews, and it was all on one topic. She was, and I'll put this in terms that Donald Trump would understand, she was given across kind of like a nasty woman sort of vibe there to him. I like it. She seemed almost like a journalist once again. But it is interesting that she is able, apparently, to push back against him on something that is a legitimate, it's a weird area of his presidency that he talked about how he was always going to choose the best people, and he so frequently chose people who, on the one hand, had no capability to do their job or were chosen specifically because they would dismantle the very government offices they were put in charge of. Nobody really focuses on those that much. They focus more on the people who he ended up hating. They said something he didn't like or did something he didn't like, so he cast them off and called them traitors or never MAGA or whatever. And there were a lot of both types of those types of people. And Maria Bartiromo there, following up from some of the previews of this interview we'd gotten a few days ago, seems able to criticize him on that, which we don't see a lot of in Fox News interviews of him. And he didn't really strike back against her. So I don't know if they'd had some sort of agreement or something, but that was a different sort of Trump interview than I'm used to, Francesca.
Yeah, but it wasn't like she was holding him accountable to, protect American democracy or uphold the Constitution or abide by law. She was like, why didn't you fire more of these deep state bureaucrats? You should have fired Christopher Wray, even though he pretty much did everything you wanted him to. He opened an investigation into the FBI itself for its investigation into Michael Flynn. He was doing the investigating of the investigators. So she was, yeah, Maria Bartiromo, I think it's more striking that he wasn't offended or didn't get mad at her, but it was really her just being like, why weren't you really crazy? I feel like you should have been crazier back there, babe. Why didn't you fight them harder? That was the vibe she was giving off.
Yeah, no, I guess that's fair. I don't know, I've been weirdly wanting to give her credit over the last week or whatever, because obviously, there was a time when she was a real journalist. That was a very long time ago. But I don't know. I just want some sort of omen, like that the Republican Party might be turning at some point. Like you see in the distance a white dove or something. You think, oh, maybe the tide is turning, but perhaps we're not there yet. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.